ACC Championship game in the great city of Charlotte. Super excited about that, and to represent the Atlantic. Certainly, a big goal of ours that we weren't able to achieve last year. Winning the division this year, and in particular, the last year of the divisions, I think that was kind of another goal within our goals this year. But so we're excited about the opportunity to still be playing and look forward to the trip up there. We got a great amount of respect for Coach Brown and the job he's done at North Carolina, and the year that they've had. Got a lot of dynamic playmakers that we've been able to see throughout the year. None more so than their quarterback. Has had a Heisman type year. So it should be a great venue and a great night there in Charlotte. And again, looking forward to competing against a great team.
All right, thanks, Coach. As always with the Zoom call, if you have a question, please raise your hand. We have a lot of folks on today, so I'll try to get to as many as possible. First up is Trevor Groves. Trevor, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. It was an epic meeting the last time you played the Tar Heels in 2019 in Chapel Hill. What do you remember about that game, and what can you say about the job that Mack Brown has done with this program?
He's done an amazing job. I mean, I think coming in and really, building a culture and solidifying their organization and impacting the recruiting, which ultimately impacts the product on the field. And so he's done a wonderful job of that. They've got a lot of great players. He's got an excellent staff. And so that particular game was a crazy day. I think it was an early game, if I remember, but came down to, the last play. And, it was a great play by our guys. I think it was, if I remember correctly, maybe Skowski was in on that play. But it was a good one. Isaiah Simmons, maybe. There was another one in on that one, but tough, hard-fought game, as was the last time we played them in the ACC Championship game. That was a play that came down to an onside kick. So got a lot of respect for these guys and the type of program that they have and the players that they have within it.
Okay, our next question will go to Andrea Adelson. Andrea, go ahead.
Dabo, when you reviewed the tape from yesterday's game in terms of some of the struggles in the passing game, how much of that was on DJ? How much of that was on the receivers, the line? I know there's a lot of moving parts, but, do you have a clearer idea today, kind of what went into some of those struggles?
Oh, yeah, I got a much clearer idea, but it's, it was a combination of a lot of things. We had, really one time early, we had Brenning Stool wide open, and we get hit, and did not do a good job protecting on that particular play. I mean, wide open, and then we had another time we missed a throw to Antonio who was open, and then we hit him and we dropped it, and then we had a couple more and we dropped it, and so we had some critical drops and some missed plays, and those things add up. And next thing you know, the turnovers with empty possessions, you turn over a kick return, you turn over a punt return. Now you're out of rhythm, and then you have some drops and a few missed plays along the way, and it's a recipe for getting beat. So, but our kids competed. I love that how they competed. Again, you just got to congratulate South Carolina. They found a way to win the game. We certainly had plenty of opportunity to win it, and we didn't get it done. And the turnovers really hurt us and caught up with us, and some big plays on defense. So it was a combination of a lot of things. Certainly BJ had some plays that he'd like to have back, but he was a long way away from being the reason we lost the game. That's for sure. So he doesn't return kicks and play safety and catch the ball. He can only control his part, but all of those things I think affect, just your psyche and the rhythm of the game and so forth. But, again, I still love how they competed. A lot of tough things within the game, but, competed all the way to the end, and unfortunate that we didn't get a chance there at the kick with the last fumble on the punt return. That was kind of the final deal there. But just got to congratulate South Carolina and Shane and for those guys finding a way to win the game, because they just won it.
Okay, our next question is from Matt Connolly. Go ahead, Matt.
Dabo, in addition to the passing game, just what else kind of stood out, both good and bad, about yesterday's game, and what went right, what went wrong when you went back and watched it?
Yeah, well, I mean, just again, misplays, turnovers, and then some critical big plays on defense where we just didn't do what we needed to do. And so, and they made us pay for it. But had a couple of miscues up front as well, but just a combination of all those things. And in a game like that, I mean, it's a rivalry game. It's a few plays, but more than anything, missed opportunities with the drops, a couple misplays, and the turnovers. I mean, again, you get the safety and you get a nice little kick return to the 30-something there, and you got one of your best players, and the ball's loose and just kind of away from his body and comes out, and then you got, even with all the stuff that had gone on, you still got a chance there at the end. You're gonna have a first down on right there at midfield about the 48, and you get one more fumble. So special teams, the two returns that we got no opportunity with, those are empty possessions. The field position, their punter was tremendous. We had a lot of tough field position, but we did a lot of good things in the game too. I know we like to focus on all the bad when we lose, but there were a lot of good things in the game that we'll see when we watch the tape as well. But just didn't do what we need to do to win the game, and you have to win those type of games. We had plenty of opportunity, two plays, 3 plays, you win it. But you got to give their guys credit. I mean, because they were behind the whole game. They trailed the entire game, and they just kept battling. And then, the field goal put them up there in the fourth quarter, and we weren't able to respond. And again, some huge missed opportunities. 3 big drops. That I felt like could have made a difference for us, but just wasn't our day.
Okay, our next question is from Larry Williams. Larry, go ahead with your question.
Sorry, can you hear me?
I can now.
Okay, sir. I apologize. I had my mute on accidentally. Can you share how you're moving forward with the quarterback situation this week? Is DJ still the guy? What have y'all concluded, I guess, as of this afternoon?
So are you asking me if he's the reason we lost?
No, I'm not. I'm just curious if he's still the starter.
Yeah, he's still the starter. Yeah, still the starter. He's not the reason we lost the game. And he can't catch it, and again, he doesn't play safety, and he doesn't return kicks. So he's got his share of things that he can do better, but he will definitely start the game.
Okay, our next question is from Leo Haggerty. Go ahead, Leo.
Coach, you're dealing not only with a loss, but a lot of other things. First time in 8 games with South Carolina, first home loss in 40. You don't want this to fester into a second one. What are you going to have to do this week to make sure you get over this game?
Well, just like we've always done, you go back to work and you move on to the next opponent. That's what we've always done. All those things are great, and we've done all those things, but the last time we lost, we went back to work, and that's what you do. This is a championship game. This is going to be another great venue and great environment, and 2 teams that really want to win. But you keep good perspective. You learn. You teach. You make sure your guys understand what's reality and what's not, especially at a place like Clemson when you lose a game. And then, you lose. I mean, I wish we'd have won 8 in a row. We didn't. We had our opportunity to, but, somewhere along the line, you got to give the opponent some credit too. And, their kids earned it, and we had plenty of opportunities and didn't do what we needed to do. So, and as I said yesterday, there's probably a reason why no one's won 8 in a row in this series. It's hard to do in a rivalry game, and we've had a lot of great days, and yesterday wasn't one of them. So, you learn from it and you move on to the next one, just like what's led to all of our consistency. When we've won a game, we do the same thing. We don't linger around in that either. We learn from it and we move on to the next one. So really no different than anything that we always do.
Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Okay, our next question is from David Teal. David, go ahead with your question.
Dabo, in your opening statement, you said that Drake May was having a Heisman-type season. You have competed against and coached some of the best young quarterbacks this league has ever seen. Does Drake May have some common traits with a Trevor Lawrence or a Jameis Winston?
Absolutely. He's a great one. I mean, I know they've had a couple tough games, but again, he can only do his job, right? And not that he's perfect or anything like that, but he is, teams win, but he's got all the attributes. We recruited him, we offered him, we loved him coming out of high school. So and nothing's changed. I mean, he's a great player. He's a winner. He's got a great competitive streak to him. That's what I like about him most. He's incredibly competitive. And he just has a lot of confidence that he can make the play required. But he's got a nice arm. He sees it. He's got a high football IQ. He's an excellent leader. You see all those things. So he can move around. I mean, he can run with it. I mean, he can do a little bit of everything. So he's a complete player at that position.
I see over your right shoulder a diagram of SoFi Stadium, which is where the CFP final is.
Yeah.
Do you have to adjust some team goals now in the wake of yesterday?
Not really. I mean, we didn't achieve the goal that we had yesterday. So, we've got 2 goals left, and that is to win the ACC and to win the closer. So we don't have to adjust anything. We've got a chance to hit 4 out of our 5 goals. And, if we do that, we're going to have had a great year for sure. But that's been there since the summer. I think one of the operations guys brought that back. So I guess I won't need the directions to it, but yeah. Appreciate you pointing that out. Yeah, it's been there. I didn't even notice. It's been there always since the summer, been there a long time. But that, and again, that's not a goal. It's not, there's nothing in here that says win the national championship. Our goals are win the opener, win the division, win the state, win the ACC, and win the closer. And when we've done that, we've won the national championship. Our goals are set up to allow us to compete at the highest level. But the reason that it doesn't say win the national championship on there is because we don't control that, right? I mean, we could win all of our games and somebody could say, no, you don't qualify, right? So, we set our goals up that allow us to compete at the highest level, and that's worked out for us a lot this year. We're not going to hit all 5, but we do have an opportunity still to hit 4 out of 5. And if we do that, we're going to have another great year here and keep moving forward. So this is a huge goal for us, always has been. And when we've won the league, it's always led to bigger things. And and not winning the state championship a couple of times along the way in our past has kept us out of some bigger opportunities. We've not won our state championship, won the league, been in the Orange Bowl, et cetera. But when we've hit all 5, we've won it all. A couple of times. So that's why they are what they are, but we don't have to adjust anything. We got 2 goals left, and win the ACC and win the closer. And we hit those 2 goals, we will have had a heck of a year here at Clemson.
All right, our next question is from Chapel Fowler. Chapel, go ahead with your question.
Hey, Dabo, you mentioned last night wishing you had gotten Shipley the ball a little bit more in the second half. After looking at the film, do you have a better idea of why that didn't happen?
Well, I mean, there's some read things where it didn't happen, and just the play call didn't go to him. And then again, we had, a missed possession there at the end that hurt us. Some missed plays that killed some more sequence of plays and opportunities there. But, definitely something, 2020, hindsight's 2020 for sure. And, wish we could have gone back and redone a couple of those.
Okay, our next question is from Anna Adams. Anna, go ahead with your question.
Hey, Dabo. Coach Streeter said after the game that Clemson wide receivers didn't particularly win against man coverage. Looking at the film, any reason why there was so much struggle there?
Well, they did a good job on a couple of occasions. There were several times where they won, and we didn't, we dropped it, or we missed the throw, or the protection let us down. But they did a good job of really playing some outside technique leverage, and then we came back and made them pay for that and hit Bo for a big play. But we missed a couple of other opportunities, and then Bo getting hurt was certainly a loss for us. But definitely not our best day.
Okay, our next question is back to Andrea Adelson. Andrea, go ahead.
Dabo, I think you have a negative turnover margin in your last 5 games. I'm just wondering if there's a common denominator there, and how much of a concern that is headed into Saturday.
That's a huge concern, because if we lose the margin this week, we'll lose the game. I mean, I knew going into this game, and when we've lost to these guys, that's been the common denominator is the 5-game streak that we had at that point we had 15 turnovers to their 3. And this run that we had of 7 in a row, we really did a great job of being even or better. All but one time we were -1 and we still won in 15, but it was a really close, like a 5-point game. So it's a big concern going into this game, and it's frustrating. And it's a lot of fundamental stuff, just guys getting the ball out and away from their body, and sometimes trying to do too much. And it's been an issue these past 5 games, but we've also shown that we can do an outstanding job. The first 7 games we had 3 turnovers, so we have shown that we can do a good job of that. But it's been a real problem. We're very fortunate to be 3-2 in those 5 games where we've lost the margin. That's amazing that we've been able to overcome that, and had an opportunity to overcome it yesterday, and again just couldn't quite get it done, even with the lead for most of the game.
All right, as a reminder, make sure to raise your hand if you have a question. We're going to go back to Trevor Groves. Trevor, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, I'm speaking of turnovers, I'm curious about the gadget kickoff return. It worked out nicely except for the fumble by Maffa. Where did that play come from exactly?
Yeah, it's just something we've had, and it's a good time to do it because you're going to have a chance at a return, and it did pop clean, it almost popped big time, but he kind of got tripped up there, and same thing. It's not like he had some big hit, just the ball. He just kind of had the ball out from his body, and just came loose there. So just one of the best players we have, and I'd hand it to him over and over and over. So we just gotta really coach our way and play our way through it. It's a real disappointment right now, and it's definitely a huge factor in that game yesterday. A couple of times, again, two, one on kick return, one on punt return. You got all the momentum, on the kick return there after the safety. You're up 9 with a chance to get good field position and go get points, and it's an empty possession. And then obviously at the end there, you feel good about your return, and you got a great kicker, and to not get the opportunity is very frustrating. But again, that's football, and when you compete in this arena, in this world that we're in, we've been more blessed than not. I mean, it's bounced our way a lot, but you'll have those days somewhere along the way where it doesn't, and that was a tough thing for us yesterday.
Did you put that play in yourself, and have you seen somebody else run that play before?
Yeah, we've had that play in. We put it in. I've had it, most of the year, but it was just like I said, just the right time to call it. But yeah, it's something that's been in our background for a long time.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, we'll go back to Larry Williams. Larry, go ahead.
Yeah, you mentioned the safety position. Just curious for the day after evaluation on film of that position in general and Makuba in specific.
Yeah, he had a rough day and a tough day. And but you know what? Listen, man, I love that kid, and I told him that after the game. This kid, he's battled all year. He didn't practice Monday and Tuesday. And, he's out there. He had a little bit of a sore knee, battled through that. He's obviously played with the elbow all year. He's an incredible competitor. He cares deeply, and certainly was a game he's going to want to forget. And some, plenty of just fundamental things and eye discipline things and technique things that he can learn from. But he's going to have a lot more good days than he does bad days in the game of football, because he is a great player, a great competitor. And he, it's when you play that position, there's nowhere to hide at times. And so it is what it is there. We'd love to have a few plays back, but you don't get those plays back. But what you can do is you can learn from them, and that's exactly what he'll do. And the 4th and 1, I mean, and again, we turned them back over, but you stop. I mean, it's a one-person route, and I mean, we stop them right there. You're going to get points there. So just one of those plays in the game that was a very difficult play, and then they got us on a little double move later as well with a 9-point lead. So tough day. JP got banged up, and JP, man, he came out and he had to go back in. And that's the one thing I will say about our guys, man. I saw a bunch of brothers out there competing for each other, and really, I mean, to the end. They battled. They never quit. They kept believing. And, that's all you can ask these guys. Nobody wants to win more than them. And, we just gotta keep teaching and growing them up and learning and put this one behind us and get ready to go compete, for this league title.
All right, we got time for about just 2 or 3 more. Matt Connolly, you're up next.
Yeah, but I was just going to ask, how do you feel like Cade has been doing in practice and kind of been developing throughout this year?
He's doing good, doing really good.
All right, our next question is from Leo Haggerty. Go ahead, Leo.
Coach, you had a lot of key injuries. You had an ejection. Did that affect the game plan on offense and defense with people in the game that really you didn't expect to have had in the game?
Well, I mean, it affects things, but both sides have players out and things like that. And we've got to, we had plenty of opportunity, and we're in position to win the game all the way to the end, and just didn't do it. So, everybody's got guys banged up. They lost a receiver, a really good player, and I hope he's okay. It didn't look good on the field. Number 6 for them, Van, when he came down. So, everybody's dealing with stuff, before the game, during the game, and our job's to find a way to win, and we didn't do it. So again, you got to congratulate them because they did, and it was a big win, and we'll learn from it and got to live with it. Got to live with it for 300 something days, and again, it's been a long time since we've had this feeling, thankfully, and get ready for when that time comes again down the road.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, our next question is from Brian Murphy. Go ahead, Brian.
Hey, Coach. Dave Doran up at NC State said December's turned into one of his least favorite months of the year, given roster management, the early signing day, transfer portal, everything that's happening, plus having to get ready for games. How do you kind of balance all the things that need to be taken care of this month?
Yeah, it's a lot because you got recruiting, and so we obviously are in the championship game this week. So although they did make this a dead week, used to for up until this year, this was recruiting started this week. So, we were in this game. I guess this is 7 out of the last 8 years that we've been in this game. So the previous 6 times we kind of missed the week because we were getting ready for the championship game. But as soon as the game is over, I mean, literally Sunday, everybody's gone, everybody's out on the road. So there's a lot to do from a recruiting standpoint because, you know, we've got the signing day coming up and then it's always been a lot. Bowl, you know, getting ready for your bowl prep, you know, getting your plan in place for that. Once you kind of know where you're going and who's your opponent, and you know, there's always a lot of travel time and playing time and things like that that you're just constantly working, trying to get ready. And so we'll have about I think we got exactly 2 weeks to go recruit. So we'll be busy with that, and a week of that will be all recruiting, and then another week of that will be recruiting / practice, you know, where we'll, depending on, you know, everybody's schedule and stuff, you know, you'll be, you know, maybe practice in the morning, recruiting at night, you know, vice versa. You do that for a week, and then you've got that signing day on that Wednesday, the 21st. So, you know, fortunately, for us, our class is, you know, almost done here. And, you know, we've got a lot of guys committed and a lot of guys that'll be coming in early in January. So we pretty much have a pretty clear picture on what our class is going to look like. And we're super excited about the group that's coming in. But then you have the added piece of the transfer portal and all that stuff that has come about that creates just a different deal, you know, than we've had to deal with in the past, because now your roster can look very different by the time you get to your bowl game. So it just is what it is. It's everybody has to deal with it. And you just try to manage that and the very best you can.
All right, seeing no other questions, and at 4:28, we'll let Coach go. Coach, really appreciate you joining us, and we will see you in Charlotte on Friday at 2:45. Thank you.
Appreciate it.